So here I am in the back of Jess, and what I'm going to go through with you now is a very quick walkthrough of how to convert this two-seater sofa into the main bed. So the first thing to do is we want to take the cushions and the pillows out, just to make it a bit easier. So now we've got all the pillows and cushions out the way, we can come to the bed. We're going to press this lever down and that's released the bed. Now we want to make sure that this whole area is free of obstruction, and we can take our hand on here and just start pulling the bed. Now as we're pulling the bed, you'll notice the seat belts are coming down, so we just move them up and we carry on pulling the bed towards us until it's about 45-degree angle. And as you can see, the bed's now coming close to there's the edge of the fridge, there's my feet, there's the edge of the porta potty under the ottoman. As again, move these seat belts up so they don't disappear, and then using our body weight we're just going to lean here and that will push the bed down and the front will come the rest of the way. This is the easiest way. So I kneel on here, just rest my arms on there, and we get a nice clunk and the bed's now down. So the next thing is, let's just move these out of the way. So we just move them into their gap so that they're below the height of the bedding. And you can see we've got the memory foam topper and the double sleeping bag rolled up nicely, and that's why we've got the metal bars at the back, because the metal bars stop the bedding from going against the back window, and that stops moisture and condensation problems and allows you to open and close the curtains without the bedding getting in the way. And so we simply take hold of this and gently roll it all the way to the foot of the bed. And this is a significant memory foam and a nice double duvet, double sleeping bag that's cotton lined. Now we can throw two pillows down the end, close the curtains, and we're good to go. I'll just show you this feature while we're here. You can just see down here that it says open and there's a button. If we press that button, it will open the electronic mechanism and this door will release. Now that's great if you're on a campsite and, say, as I found myself, parked with the rear of the van pointing towards the sea, and it's a nice morning, nice and sunny, and I want to pop the door and just look at the sea without having to get out of bed. And so you can just press that button, push the door up, and you don't have to get out of bed. But it's also useful if there is ever an emergency and you needed to get out through the back of the vehicle, heaven forbid. But if that was the case, then it's nice to know. And that's not a standard feature, so that's something that's been added for safety and security. And so here we are, we've got the bedding. You can see it's actually quite luxurious. This duvet, you can actually unzip it. So if we bring the zips all the way around to here on each side, then the bottom half and the top half separate. So you can actually, for example, if you want the kids to be warmer upstairs, they've already got a duvet, but you could take one half of this off and put it upstairs. You can make each half that comes apart into its own individual sleeping bag, so you could technically have two sleeping bags separate on this bed. But as it's currently laid out, we've got one big double sleeping bag, and it's cotton lined on the inside. It makes it very, very comfortable. So the process for putting the bed back up in the morning is pretty much a reverse of what we just done, but I'm going to show you how I do it so that we can pack things really tight and get a lot of stuff stowed at the back of the van, so that you free up your living space from all the pillows, cushions and bedding. We'll get into this. Put all the pillows and cushions to one side, out of the way. We clear this area, but the important step is we're going to have to get on the bed to move all the bedding back to the other end, so make sure you take your shoes off. I'm just going to fold up, just to get it started, the bedding, so I can get access to the memory foam topper underneath. And I get my knee on the middle, and it's just literally just rolling it up, but keeping your weight on it to keep it as tight as possible. And this is why your shoes have to come off, because you get to about here and we just keep rolling it. And when we get to about here, we want to pull the whole thing forwards a little bit and give it one more roll, and that will keep these loose parts from being against the back door. So we're going to pull it towards us and then give it one more roll. And at this point you should have the bedding, the mattress literally just above that bar at the back, and it will hold itself in place. So as we come back, we're going to pull these seatbelt clips back out. Now the mistake people make is they get a hold of the headrest here, and that's actually going to break the seat. So we've got a strap here, because this is what you use to pull the seat up. We come down to this lever and we're just going to press it again, and it clicks, and you can see that the mattress itself has popped up. Don't get hold of it here, any of that. Take hold of this strap and pull it up, and then just with your legs is the easiest thing. Just walk the bedding back. Now make sure there's nothing under here. Quite often you might want to put bags and things under there to save the space, and that's perfectly all right. I often do that. I put my luggage under there in the middle part, so that when I pull the bed out, the bed comes over the top, because as you can see there's quite a lot of space there. But in the morning when you're pushing the bed back, make sure there's nothing trapped, like a shoe or anything behind here, because otherwise you'll risk breaking whatever it is, or you'll damage the bed. So when we get to about here, we can see the bed's almost back in place, and it's just one last push until it clicks. Everything's in place. Now what you tend to find is put your fingers behind the seatbelt and just give them a gentle pull, and that will bring up the stopper. And the seatbelts during the daytime, if we're not actually driving, I put them up there so that when people sit on the seat they don't catch them on their backs. So now it's just a simple case of putting all of the pillows down the back. And again, what we want to do is, you can see there's a nice gap here for them to rest in, and the bars. So the first one, we want to get it against the bar, not overlapping the bar, because we want to try and keep this space for air circulation and to allow us to be able to pull the curtains freely. So doing it this way, I've got all 4 pillows in. In fact, we'll put the cushions, tuck them away nicely. However you want, and there you go. Okay, I've gone into a lot of detail there, but it's actually, when you get down to it, it's about a 1 minute to pack up, less time to unpack it, and you've got your living room back at the end, and it's a lovely comfortable bed, especially with this memory foam pillow, which is my favourite one. Really easy. So now you know how to do a rock and roll bed in a VW camper van. You're ready for any adventure.